Hey, what's up guys? Shadow Steel here. Welcome back to Railworks Sundays. Today, we're back on Tennessee Pass. It's been a while since I played a scenario on the route, but last time we played a scenario, it was a default scenario. But today, we're operating a bit of an intermodal train over Tennessee Pass. And we are waiting currently for an auto rack train to come through. Just gotta make sure he's going through. I've actually had a few issues with this scenario. It's a workshop scenario called The Final Days of Tennessee Pass Intermodal. And this scenario has been kind of an issue to work with lately because of the first train that runs in this scenario, where you meet up with another service. And this auto rack train just seems to have an issue. But that's not the only issue that we've had lately in the industry. And I'll get to that in a bit. Get a screenshot of this guy going through here. Kind of running slow, but it's fine. Should be coming in slow anyway. But yeah, it's been a while since I've run this route, and I think it's about time we go ahead and operate it. Train SD45, that's 2, and SD40. Got a couple trains here. Once he gets clear of us, I'm going to turn on my headlight, and then we're going to get ready to get out, because we're just waiting for him to come through. But yeah, we're in Tennessee Pass. We've got an intermodal train behind us, quite a heavy intermodal train actually, and we are at the top of the grade, and we're going to go down grade for the rest of the run. So once the last unit passes us, we're going to turn on the headlight. Okay, last unit's passed. Whoop. Don't go into emergency, sir. That's the windshield wipers. Where's the headlight? Really? That's stupid. In the wrong position. Then again, so the locomotives we're running are the old Donner Pass locomotives. This is the Donner Pass SD40. We have two Donner Pass SD40s. We have a DTM ST45T-2, and then an ST50. I believe it's either an ST50. I believe it's either an ST40-2T, similar to this, or something else. We've got quite a few tunnel motors on us on the head end here, so we've got a lot of power, plenty of power. We should be able to get going here soon. And we've got quite a journey ahead of us. We'll just need to make sure we maintain speed all the way down. So we'll wait for a clear signal here. I'll turn the fan back on just a second ago, just now, because of the heat. It's hot as balls out here. Well, it's hot and humid. That's what it is. We got a 15 limit coming up here, just after the switch here, and then we're going to be doing a 15-mile-an-hour limit throughout the entire run. So, start to clear. How many more cars we got? So the interesting, I want to point out something. At least if the guy who made the scenario is watching, I want to point out that this has been a consistent problem. Is this particular contest, the auto racks, are a consistent problem, and they will not move. It will not move when you first start up the scenario through the menu. You have to go into the scenario editor, fix the time, set, and then play the scenario through there. It's something to do with the signaling system that he has got. He's got the train set up in between two different blocks, and I think because of that, the train is confused on where to go. So it kind of thinks, oh, I'm passing a red block, and doesn't want to move any further. Because I think our train is technically given priority, and the auto rack train is classified as a special, so it does wonky things with the timetable. So with that particular train that's right next to us right now, while he has higher priority, he's also got a bit of there's some sort of issue with how the signals are set up on this route, to the point where it will not move once it gets moving. And even setting it to be delayed by about 20 seconds does not help. Because I've tried a few fixes on this, and it doesn't seem to want to work. Come on. How many cars you got back there, buddy? Is that the last car that's coming through here? Yeah, that's the final car. Okay, got it. We're finally through. Very sluggish. But then again, he's got a 15-mile limit into the siding here. Alright. Gonna notch it up here. Get ready to throttle. And yes, we do have the old school sounds. Alright, set her up. Oh, no, backwards! Why are we going backwards? Back! Pull forward, you old shit! Okay, there we go, now we're moving. Started rolling backwards for some fucking reason. If you've ever played the old school Trains games, you'll know exactly where these sounds are from, honestly, which is kind of funny to think that these models, these are old RSC models. So, I don't know why we're still getting the wheel stuff. Shut up! Stop that. There we go. Now we're moving. We should get the last car moving here. Yeah, we're good. So now we're moving. But yeah, these sounds, they're not great. I don't think there's any replacement mods for these particular sounds. But they're like the old school, like Trains with a Z, or specifically the UTC version of Trains of the sounds. Yeah. That is definitely something to do. Okay, no, it's just something to do. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this has been kind of an eventful few days, maybe week now at this point, in terms of just the, just what's going on in general. Because, I planned to do the scenario for a while. When I found the scenario, it was instantly on my list of, okay, I gotta play this scenario. I gotta play this and have to kind of run on over Tennessee Pass during the modern age, during the 90s, when Tennessee Pass was kind of being phased out as a main line. But unfortunately, sometime the week I found the scenario, I think it's just earlier this week of this recording, a member of the heist community, if you know, like, the music I'm using, I've always said this in my videos, but I've always used Heist's music throughout these videos. And I want to say it was August 2nd when a member of the heist community was sadly passed away suddenly, and it unfortunately it was I don't know what happened. I'm not going to speak on it or anything like that. All I know is that it was very sudden, to the point where no one even saw it coming. And like I said, I had already planned to play the scenario on the channel, but when that happened, it just so happened that the man who died, Joel, he was a big fan of the Southern Pacific. He's a huge fan of the Southern Pacific. Knew pretty much everything, or knew pretty much a lot of details about the Southern Pacific. And unfortunately, he passed away. And with this being a Southern Pacific scenario on what was formerly a Denver and Rio Grande Western route, that was later absorbed into the Southern Pacific, and later absorbed into the Union Pacific, I felt it was only fitting that we take a trip down Tennessee Pass and pay tribute to Joel. The scenario is going to be a long one. It's going to be a long haul, and granted, I didn't know Joel. I never got to talk to him myself, but I know he was a big part of the community. He was a very nice guy. He very much enjoyed being a part of the community. He actually got to be featured on a couple heist videos. But he unfortunately, like with his passing, he there was not much, no one was expecting it, and came as a sudden shock. And it's hard to realize, it's hard to understand when you lose somebody that close to you, whether it be friends or family. And it's just, I feel for Heist. The other day, just yesterday, as of recording, Heist did his first live stream since Joel's passing. And the community was out in force. There's always a joke within the community about like breaking the economy, and that's usually and the joke is about, or turning the chat green, where it was always a matter of like, basically give Heist as much money as you possibly can. It sometimes ends up being a bit of a competition between a couple of members, because it's just one of those things where it's like, we all have our moments, we all lose people in our lives, but you don't expect it to be so suddenly in a lot of cases. And Joel was one such case where he was, from what I understand, like, it was just so sudden that no one expected it. And like I said, I don't know what happened. I was not there, but it was definitely something that, you know, there's a lot of like, it's still tragic no matter what you do. Now, whether or not, like, and this is something that, like, with preservation, you're going to lose people over time. People are going to pass away. But you don't expect it to be people rather young. You don't expect it to be people in their 30s or 40s. And over the past couple of years, we've had that issue where somebody relatively young is involved in some sort of accident or has some sort of medical emergency or something of that sort, and they sadly pass away as a result. We've had that quite a bit these past couple of years in preservation. Oops. No, not that bad. And to know that it hits so close to home for Heist, like, that's a big deal. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I feel his pain, because I've never really lost anybody super close just yet. But that's the thing. The phrase "just yet" is a big part of it. Because I know in the future that I will lose people near me, like relatively close to me, that I care about. And that I have respect for. And that's a big deal. That's one of those things where it's like, you've got to cherish the time you have. And as somebody who's lived through quite a few health scares myself, I have mentioned this a few times before in the past, but I have various medical conditions myself. I have gone blind in the left eye due to my health. I have been in the hospital at least 3 times since graduating high school. Like, in the emergency room, I might add. Not just regular doctor visits, but, like, in the emergency room 3 times due to some form of medical emergency. And we're trying. By the way, we're trying to turn on the dynamics so we don't fly down the hill here. But it's a situation where this is a good little estimate here, actually. It's one of those things where it's like, as time progresses and these why are we still speeding up, y'all? Fuck. No wheel slip. Fuck off. Putting a little bit more brake pipe on there until we can get it down. You got to use the dynamics and the air brakes to get down the grade safely, apparently. But yeah, it's in all seriousness, like with my various medical issues and my various medical scares, I am not granted I'm worried about my health as time goes on, but at the same time I know that I am still human. I'm not someone who's going to live forever. I am somebody that eventually I'm going to need to have a plan in place if I were to die suddenly. And yeah, it's unfortunate when it happens, but it's also like, depending on your circumstances, like I said, I have various health conditions. I think I've been open a little bit about this on previous videos about what my health conditions are. I did mention I was blind in one eye. And in fact, that's actually one of the reasons I used. If you don't remember, if you haven't been with the channel for very long, you may not remember that I used to have a face cam on most of my videos. In fact, I was sharing a clip recently on one of the other Discords, and that I'm on, and it was from one of my old videos, and I had my old face cam, and in fact my old my old video layout, and like, I can't do that anymore, A, because I don't have a webcam, but B, because I'm sitting so close to the screen just to see that it's just not possible to use it. I actually stopped using the face cam back in, I want to say it was, yeah, it had to be COVID, because I let my dad use it for his teaching, because he had to do the online schooling thing for his school, for his work. And that's basically when I lost it. Now, I'm not discounting that I could bring back the face cam over time, and I'm not shy about showing my face. I've shown it on the internet a few times before, and I've had times where I have used, like, shown pictures of myself. In fact, I actually did that when I reached 1,522 subscribers, 1522. But for the most part, the face cam has been a thing where it's like, who knows when that's ever going to come back, and who knows when my, like, because I'm in my 30s. But I'm definitely somebody that's, like, physically, I'm much older with how my body is, like, what condition my body's in. Mentally, I may be young. Who knows? I mean, I do have autism. That is something I actually am diagnosed with, and I have mentioned that before. This is something I literally can confirm. Like, I have been diagnosed with autism when I was 5. I've talked about this in a previous video. But the other health condition I have um, is type 1 diabetes, which is why I went blind in the left eye. And for the most part, with my health being as like screwed up as it is over the years, like I think I also worry about what's planned, like what God has in store for me. I may be an agnostic, but I still worry about stuff like that. I still worry about what the plan is for me in the long run. But yeah, it's just the various issues, like passing away suddenly. It's one of those things you don't expect to be in. And I've been through a ton of crap in my life. I've been through one car accident when I was in high school. I've had a near heart attack when I just 2 months after I graduated high school. I have had I've gone blind in my left eye. I have seen people around me with had people around me with significant medical emergencies. So it's one of those things where it's like, eventually, like, death comes knocking. You don't have to like it, but it's there. And when it comes to stuff like that, like, personally, from my point of view, it's like we all have something going on in our lives, and we all have these things that we fear and dread and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of the way of life. But you don't expect it to hit you so close to home. You don't expect it to hit you so suddenly. So, learning of Joel's passing, and eventually, like, the museum, the Colorado Railroad Museum, where Joel volunteered at, they actually put his name on the cab of Rio Grande Southern Number 20, which was the last engine I believe he fired, or the last engine he was on, the last engine he was operating on. And it's one of those things where it's like the locomotive, like these people are part of the community. They're big parts of the community. Like I said, I never met Joel. I never got to talk to Joel. But when that news struck, when I saw that they put the name on the side of the cab, and at the time I was actually listening to the song "End of the Line" by Burnham and Run, which is a song from the Century of Scenes soundtrack and the end credit song for Heist's videos. I can safely say, and like I said, I'm a 33-year-old man. And I'm a full-grown man that has autism and type 1 diabetes and various other health issues. I can safely say I started to bawl my eyes out when I saw that. Because I was listening to End of the Line and all this other stuff. It's like, this is a big deal. Like, this is, you don't expect this. And when it does happen, you start to feel like there's a part of you missing. And again, I've not lost anyone relatively close to me, whether it be friends or family that I know of. But it's like I point to that phrase I said earlier. Not yet. I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to be there, but whether or not, it doesn't matter if you're prepared or not. It's gonna hit you like a ton of bricks. And the idea of this happening just so suddenly makes it all the worse for people like Heist, like myself, and the community as a whole. You don't expect it, and you don't think it's gonna, like, you don't think it's gonna happen until it happens. And that's one of those things where it's like, you don't, like, it's one of those things where it's, you really do get the sense that there's a album from one of my favorite cover artists, Little V. There's an album he has called TikTok. And all of the songs in that album deal with some form of loss. Because he lost his mother when he was writing that album. At least I believe he did. And it was a big deal. And all those songs on that album, like, kind of like, especially one of the songs is called One More Minute. And it might be the most recognizable song on the album. That and TikTok. Because both songs deal with, like, why did this have to happen? It's not, I wish it didn't happen type thing. And you get the sense that he did pour his heart and soul into the song, into the album. And it's the same thing with Heist and and how he feels about the whole thing. It's like, Joel was a close friend. He was a part of the community. So to lose someone within that community that you know so well, that was on your channel as a friend, that you were talking to just hours earlier. It's one of those things where it's like, it just, you can't explain it. Oh, I'm gonna come up here. Okay. It's hard to explain. It's hard to wrap your mind around it. And the idea that he's gone is still going to take some time getting used to for people. Because when it comes to stuff like this, like whether it be when it's just one of those, like, you don't realize what you have until it's too late, and then once it's gone, you realize, I wish I could have done more for this person. If you're not a channel member of Heist, please go support him as well. The guy is a great guy. I've talked to him at least once. And he is legit. Like, I can tell. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I feel horrible for. I got a flashing yellow up ahead there. Get into the signal here. Alright, gotta go into the siding here. Woo! Alright, well, we're speeding. Why are we speeding? Alright, there we go. Gotta make sure we come to a stop here. We got a train ahead of us, right? I think we do. Okay. Coming up to the signal here, he should be... Or do we got the... Oh, the switch is aligned incorrectly, eh? I think it is. I can't tell. I don't know. We're supposed to go down that track, but I'm not sure why it's showing yellow. Oh, we're picking up speed again. Are we? No, we're still at 15. Okay. Let's go this way. Where are we at? Ah, there we are. So let's go down here. Are we got to clear there? We've got another approach coming up here. Okay, we're good. Alright. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I would highly recommend supporting Heist. Like, whether it be channel memberships, thanks, like the thank you things on YouTube. Hell, he did a in memory of video for Joel. And it's called In Memorandum of Joel Daylight 101. And it's just leftover footage of him and Joel at a model train show. And never got to be recorded as an actual video. But they figure, but after talking with Joel's father, he figured post it and share it with the world. And it's one of those videos, like, once, like, when you get towards the end, you'll start to tear up. Or at least I did. Because you realize this is a man that just died too soon. Sorry if I'm sniffling. I gotta be. I have that bit of a like my sinuses are acting up too, which I guess is fair considering I've also been crying like every now and again talking about this. But yeah, it's saddening to realize that someone, we're not, like, he's not gonna see. Why is this a red block? Oh, it's a, what the hell? Got a yellow over red there, or red over yellow there. What the hell? I should check on the switch here, see what's going on with that track lineup. We shouldn't be on the siding or anything like that, right? Yeah, we're not on the siding. We're in the main. That's weird. Whatever. Okay, so we're on the main there. Make sure we don't go anywhere. Lined up through there. Got it. Get through here. Why is this? Wait. Oh. Is that line getting correctly? Okay. Nope. What the hell? Oh, well, that's incorrectly lined. Nothing. Okay, now it's lined. They've got the clear all the way through there. Got it. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the tracks here. Ugh. It's been one of those days, honestly. There are, like, it's disheartening, really, to know, like, to see when people that you care about are, like, it's disheartening when you see people that you've started, like, I started to watch Heist's videos back in 2020. That was when I started to watch his videos, which was only like a few months after I went blind in one eye. Got a couple of Rio Grande units here. Okay. This is supposed to move though sometime. I think it's stuck. Might be stuck. Got the lines out. He's got a line out. So it's good to go. That switches line for us too. For them anyway. But to know that to see people suffering that you've kind of grown accustomed to watching and seeing them tear up over something like that, it's hard to put into words. And I gotta say, definitely a topic that it's definitely a heavy topic, but I feel like this is the fitting, like kind of a fitting way to talk about it because, like I said, Joel was a big fan of the Southern Pacific, and running a Southern Pacific intermodal freight over Tennessee Pass, a line that basically saw very little traffic by the 90s when the Union Pacific took the Southern Pacific over and stuff like that. Like, this is a route that I feel like is very well, and Model Bus Simulations did a nice job with the route, honestly, I gotta admit. That's one of those things where it's worth driving over. Yes, it's set during the steam era, but it's definitely a route. It's speeding again. Oh, because I have the throttle open. Duh. But it's one of those routes where the more, like, the stuff with it and the switch, all this stuff, it's like, it's kind of, it's one of the, these routes are, like, it's anything Rio Grande with the later Southern Pacific era stuff, it's like, yeah, that's going to be, that should be kind of how I honor Joel in some way. Because it's Rio Grande, it's both Rio Grande and Southern Pacific. So. They said the scenario was about 90 minutes, 95 minutes or so I'm trying to keep a close eye on the time. We're actually leveling out here. Slow down a little bit. It really is a sort of like shitty month, if you will, just in general. August has always been a rough month, whether it be for the weather or something of that sort, but like weather, life, stuff like that, it's definitely a situation where things are always looking bad in some way, shape, or form, and there's been plenty of people that have gone through hell and back. Don't car in the back there. Oh, right. Okay. But yeah, it just, I don't really have much to say anymore, really, with about the whole thing with Joel and his life. Because like I said, I never met the guy. I've mentioned this several times at this point. But it's definitely something that a lot of people are trying to pay tribute to him in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like the best way I can do it is share a scenario, like play a scenario with the Southern Pacific equipment. So, stay way out there. How long will it move? Okay, 40 minutes. Oh, there it goes. Now it's moving. I was wondering when that was going to move. We got some standard stock from Donner Pass. We got a good mix of cars here with the stock here. Oh, there's our helpers, by the way. A couple of Dash 9s on the back end. Dash 9 CWs, I believe. Yep, you're moving. I figured you were moving. We got a bit early here, didn't we? Well, interesting. Oh, yeah, he's got helpers on the back, too. Interesting. Why are the lights on in the back end there, sir? Whatever. It's definitely a situation where I do like this route. I do think that running it in the Southern Pacific era is very fitting. Because even though it's set in the Steam era, that little change between the Steam era and the little had changed between the Steam era and the modern era, literally in the 1950s, because there's just so much that effectively never got replaced or changed. There's a crossing up there. Microsoft Train Simulator ass horn. I swear. Yeah, coming through. Well, technically it's more Trains 2000s, the Trains UTC, Ultimate Trains Collection. But I feel like, actually I probably should play Trains on this channel again. Because I've played it once or a handful of times on the channel, I haven't played it in a while. Maybe I'll do that. I mean, granted this is going to be the first part of a multi-part video, so... Okay. Get some speed up here. Because we're going to be... I think we're going to be going down grade once we're out of here. Granted we're on the river valley, but... Amazing that they discontinued. Like, this is a... Granted, there's a bit of a steep climb over to the tunnel on either side, but you'd think they would probably manage it a little bit. I mean, we're maintaining speed with the brakes on a little bit. Alright. Oh, God. I don't see a speed change anytime soon. I assume we're going to be probably going down grade here shortly. Alright, let's get another shot here. A couple more shots, honestly. We got plenty of places to be. This is a cool little S-bend here. This might be good for our video, honestly, if we can do that.